Welcome to the video, guys. This is going to be all the really awesome different hidden items, transformations, and possible things that you missed going through Chapter 3. I had a ton of fun doing Chapters 1 and 2, and you guys absolutely loved that video, so Chapter 3 is right now, and Chapter 4 should be coming shortly. So, with that being said, if there's anything that I missed, leave it down in the comments below, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So in no specific order, this is going to be a section of the video where we're going to do all the different hidden bosses or bosses that are a little bit off the beaten path that you may have missed and want to get all the gear and items from. So the first boss we're going to be looking at is Non-Pure. This was an incredibly easy boss, but definitely off the beaten path, and I missed it the first time I went through. This boss will be located in the New Thunderclap Temple in the Maharva Hall, and you're going to follow the route that I'm showing you here. You're going to head directly down the stairs, watching out for these two larger enemies. I don't know if I could kill them, so I just ran right past them, but you're going to take a left at the bottom of the stairs, and he's literally sitting here inside of this building. The boss fight is incredibly easy. He barely even hit me the entire time, but after you kill him, you'll be rewarded with his spirit and some of the materials. You'll also have a chance to meditate here and get a little bit of a cutscene, which will award you a few sparks. Moving into the Forest of Felicity Shrine, we are going to be following a route that's going to lead us directly to the non-able side boss. I don't know how I stumbled upon this boss, but I was running around through the forest and I just happened to run into him. This is a two-phase boss, and they both are very fun phases. He's not incredibly hard, but upon his defeat, you are going to be able to grab his spirit, so for any completionist trying to get everything, this is definitely a boss you want to snag. Our third boss is going to be back at the Forest of Felicity Shrine, and you're going to follow the route that I'm showing you here, straight forward through the archway, and then you're going to hang a left on the cliffside. You're going to go through the cliffs into a little clearing and make a left instead of a right. As you go through that area, you're going to find a pond with a frog in the middle of it. That's going to be the boss you need to kill. You don't really get much for this other than a few materials, but like I said, if you're going for all the bosses in an area, this is definitely one you need to snag, and what makes this boss a little bit more challenging is the fact that he is all about frost. He freezes you a ton, he blows frost all over the area, so he can be kind of a pain. For our last hidden off the beaten path boss, you're going to head to the Towers of Karma from the Valley of Ecstasy. You're going to take a right and then follow the route straight, and you're going to come to a clearing with a bunch of different plants in it. 2 of the 4 plants are going to be actual enemies, and then the 3rd plant is going to be the boss. What's really odd about this boss is he drops a ton of materials and equipment for you and gives you a really awesome chest piece that gives you some extra stamina. So next up, I want to show you guys the transformations that you can get in Chapter 3, and I feel like these are definitely pretty hidden away. So the first one we're going to be looking at is going to be located in the New Thunderclap Temple at the temple entrance. This is going to be the Hoarfrost transformation, and anybody who saw the gameplay reveal trailer for this game has seen this transformation. It's the one where you have the 2 giant tentacles, and your moveset is absolutely incredible. It's not hard to get at all, really. However, it is very much on the side of the temple, and if you just did a linear progression straight through, you definitely missed it. So keep following the route I'm showing you here up the hill. You're just going to go pretty much to the top of the stairs, and then you're going to go forward and take a left. In this opening will be a small statue on the left side, and as you approach it, this enemy will jump out at you. This boss is a little bit more challenging, but after a few attempts, I was able to get him down and attained this transformation for myself. The next transformation you're going to get is from challenging the Tiger Blacksmith within your NPC Hub, which we are also going to go over how to get and unlock in this video. But this is going to be the Ebb and Flow transformation, pretty much transforming you into the tiger, giving you a massive sword and a really fun moveset to use. I will say, out of all the bosses that we have faced so far in Chapters 1, 2, and into 3, this is definitely the most challenging and most erratic boss fight I've done so far. It's incredibly fun, and it almost looks like an anime as you're fighting through it, but at the end of the fight, you will defeat him. He will go back to blacksmithing, but he will toss you his sword, which is the transformation. You also don't have to wait at all to get this transformation after you get the hub unlocked. You just need to walk right up to him and hit the challenge button. Now, we just mentioned the hub of NPCs, so let's go ahead and do the quest line in order to unlock it for us. So you're going to start at the north shore of the Bitter Lake Shrine, and you're going to follow the route that I'm going to show you now. You're going to go straight down through the braziers into the water, and there you will find Chen Long. He's not going to be hostile immediately, but as you approach him, the boss fight will start, and if you don't have electricity resistance, this fight is going to be a beast. However, after you defeat him, you'll get some dialogue and be able to talk to him, and he's going to complain about how he's old, and you're going to need to go to the cellar in Chapter 2 and get a small blue pill for him. You're going to approach Zoodog at the furnace, and you got to talk to him a few times in order for him to start making this blue pill for you. After you get the blue pill, you can then travel back to the north shore of the Bitter Lake Shrine and go towards the same route I showed you before, except this time instead of the water, he's going to be next to his shack. As you approach him, you'll be able to start some dialogue with him and go through all of his dialogue, and you'll get a cutscene allowing you to teleport directly to this location. Once here, every single NPC that you've ever run across so far that could give you some type of item or upgrade an item for you is going to now be at this location, and it is incredibly convenient. You can also approach Qianlong, who is also there now, and you can deliver him seeds, and he will start growing them for you, so you no longer have to collect seeds within the random world. You can have them cultivated here. We're now going to look at a few more quest lines, and you're going to head back to the north shore of the Bitter Lake Shrine. Go ahead and follow the route that I'm showing you here like you were going to Qianlong, except before you get to his shack, you're going to take a right and go through the archway. You're eventually going to run into a guy who's being attacked by 3 bats. Go ahead and disperse the bats, and then you need to talk to that gentleman and exhaust all of his dialogue. This is going to be the quest line to obtain the Spellbinder spell, which is going to take all of the mana you have and transfer it into extra damage while not letting you use any of your spells. This can do some absolute crazy damage and allow you to put together some crazy good builds, so it's definitely a spell you want to snag in Chapter 3. You're then going to travel to the Valley of Ecstasy in the Forests of Felicity, and you need to follow the route closely that I'm showing you here. We're going to be searching for the next location of our NPC. You're going to go through the cliffside and take a right and stay on the road all the way until you get to the bottom of the hill. You're going to start seeing some pillars, and on the left side up here is going to be our NPC. He's going to be incredibly cold, and you need to use the Ring of Fire spell in order for him to warm up, and that will prompt another cutscene. Exhaust all of his dialogue after the cutscene, and then you can travel back to the Forest of Felicity Shrine and follow the next route to get to our next location. You're going to take a right and head down the hill, dodging all the enemies as you go, and eventually it's going to open up into a very large lake. Go ahead and walk across the lake, and you're going to see 3 frozen enemies. Jump down near the braziers and go towards the area that I'm showing you. At the very bottom is going to be a shrine, and then there's going to be a boss fight. All you need to do to prompt the boss fight in the cutscene is to go towards the giant Buddha statue, and then you will need to fight the green-capped Martialist. This boss fight is incredibly fun and unique. I thought it was absolutely great, but after you defeat him, another cutscene will show, and then the small Buddha child that you've seen in the chapter before is going to show up. At the end of his cutscene, he will give you the Spellbinder spell. Also, just a side note here, as you're fighting the bats, when you have to free him from their attack, go ahead and head to the left after you've killed the bats. You're then going to jump down into the pool of water, and there's going to be an item there for you that's one of the best drinks in the game. You're going to get the Blue Ridge Romance drink, and it's going to give you 30% increased maximum health each sip and moderately increase your movement speed with 3 slots to put different perks in there as well. And speaking of drinks, we're going to go snag a soak that's incredibly easy to get. That's going to give you a moderate amount of mana each time your health is full and you sip from the gourd. So head back to the north shore of the Bitter Lake Shrine and follow the route I'm showing you here towards the giant snake skeleton. You are going to have an opportunity to interact with the skeleton as you get closer to it, and if you've progressed the game far enough like I have and didn't come back here, then the boss will not spawn for you. However, there will be a boss down here if you've just gotten to this area and you go down here, so just make sure you defeat him before you try to interact with the snake. After interacting with the snake, you'll get a cutscene, run back along the coastline, and on the ground is going to be a green sphere, which is going to contain the turtle tear. Like I said, the perk this gives you is when you're at full health and you use the gourd, you're going to recover a moderate amount of mana, which is absolutely phenomenal, considering mana recovery is almost non-existent. And while we're in this area, we're going to snag the Snow Fox brush, which is going to make your transformations last longer. So starting at the Forest of Felicity Shrine, you're going to run directly in front of you and talk to the NPC laying against the wooden post. After talking to him, follow the route that I'm showing you all the way until you progress to the Longevity Road Shrine. This is an absolute straight shot, so you shouldn't have any problems finding it. Once you get here, you're then going to need to progress forward all along the route straight towards the castle. Once you get into the castle, you're going to bob and weave your way through up and to the left and make your way towards the left side of the castle down the stairs. As you continually progress through the castle, you're then going to get to these very large wooden stairs. There's going to be 2 staircases, and at the very top is going to be a room where the boss fight is located. However, if you don't enter the room in fox form, the cutscene will not start for you, so you need to go out of the room, go into the fox form, and then jump right into the room to get the cutscene and start the boss fight. The boss is called Non-Void, and for defeating him, you're going to get a pretty decent spirit. You'll then return back to the Forest of Felicity Shrine, run straight to the NPC that you talked to before in order to get the fox spirit, and he will give you the item, the Snow Fox Brush, which is going to allow your transformations to last longer. Now, a lot of you guys have seen me use the spear in this particular video, so I'm going to show you exactly how to get the Chu Bai Spear, and it's going to be at the lower pagoda where we're going to start this entire quest line. So this entire area kind of sucks, and there's a ton of enemies here, but you're going to make your way up through until you reach the Upper Pagoda Shrine. Right next to the Upper Pagoda, you can back up and look down, and you're going to encounter a boss fight there. You need to kill this boss in order to get the purple rings off of the jail cells so you can encounter this NPC. After you kill him, make your way back to the Lower Pagoda Shrine, and then you're going to run backwards until you find this jail cell right here. There's going to be an NPC there that you need to talk to, and he's going to task you with finding all of his generals. After talking to him, you're going to progress naturally through the entire area until you reach the Pagoda boss. You're going to need to kill this boss and grab his spirit, and then after that you can head to the next area where we're going to find our other generals we need. Make your way to the Longevity Road Shrine, and you're going to follow the route that I'm showing you here, and you're going to come across a giant boss that has already been downed. Go ahead and grab his spirit, and then head back to the Longevity Road Shrine, and you're going to follow the next route straight ahead until you find a giant red mass, and that's going to transform into a boss. After you defeat this boss and grab his spirit, you can then head back to the Lower Pagoda Shrine and run backwards to your NPC who's in the jail cell. Talk to him, and he will end up giving you the Chu Bai Spearhead, at which point you can then craft the Chu Bai Spear. Alright guys, that's going to be it for all the secrets and stuff you need to know about in Chapter 3. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you're getting value and enjoying what you see here on the channel, make sure to subscribe on your way out, hit that bell notification, and I should have Chapter 4 out within the next few days. So, with that being said, stay safe, enjoy the game. I'll see you in the next one.